Honda in crisis. Well, look, not necessarily, but we've got to talk about the new Prelude because it's caused a lot of controversy, right? And before I get into this, I just want to say I love Honda, right? I love Honda as a manufacturer. My first car was a Honda Civic. You know, I love the S2000, and the old NSX is just a thing of beauty. Even the new NSX I really do like. But, and of course, the old Preludes are really cool cars and really interesting, which is why the new Prelude raises a lot of concern, right? And look, before I get into it, I don't hate the new Prelude. I just think it is way overpriced for what it is. Like, to the point where there are so many other interesting cars you can get for the money. But not just that, they also did kind of mess up because the Prelude is meant to be a really cool car. I mean, look, the old ones had VTEC engines, they were manual, some of them had four-wheel steering, and they looked really cool, right? They were really interesting, cool cars, and they all tried to do something different. And obviously they've not made one in a very long time. So people have been wondering, will there be another Prelude? Is it, just like a lot of other Japanese cars right now, a lot of other Japanese sports cars have we obviously had the Supra in most recent times and that kind of thing. So yeah, I guess we've been anticipating this for a while, and they have disappointed quite a bit, really. First of all, it's a 2-litre hybrid, which, look, it's not the end of the world. A lot of newer cars and some sports cars now are hybrids. That is normal. It's happening. We can't stop it. That's just the way it's going, unfortunately. But I do think for a sports car, especially I feel like we're in the last decade where you can get away with, having a fully combustion engine, or at least something a little bit more interesting, or at least even the engine used in the Civic. I mean, the Civic Type R, sorry. Imagine if they used that. That would have been insane, right? But no, just a regular 2-litre hybrid engine, which takes you from 0 to 60 in around 9.6 seconds, which I just think is unreal for a 40 grand sports car. Doesn't make any sense to me. And look, I don't think it's all about 0 to 60, but this is where I think it almost gets worse, because if you're not going to make it all about speed, at least make it a fun car to drive. We have cars like the MX-5 and the GR86. The GR86 I actually think is quite quick, but the GT86 and BRZ and that kind of thing aren't necessarily, fast cars. But, they were low to the ground, rear-wheel drive, manual transmission, like they were fun to drive. Whereas this new Honda Prelude only gives you the option of automatic, which I just can't understand. I really can't understand. Especially, when we had the Supra come out, a few years ago now, almost going back, I think almost 5 years ago. And, it only came, for the first few years, it only came as an automatic. And people were they were fuming. People were so upset by this. Like, how could you bring out the legendary Supra and only have it as an auto? So, and obviously, eventually, they did give the option of a manual, which I think, was quite a popular option for a lot of people. But the new Prelude, you'd think that Honda had learnt from another car manufacturer, but no, it's a hybrid automatic sports car, which I don't think is necessarily a sports car. I mean, we had the Honda CRZ or CRZ, wherever you're from, a few years ago now. It's probably like a decade old now. But I think that's a hybrid 2-door coupe or hatch with a manual gearbox. That was a sporty kind of Honda car with a manual gearbox. So it's possible. It can be done, but they've just went with an automatic. So yeah, it's not really what we wanted in terms of the specs. But even the looks of the car, I do think it's a good looking car, and in my opinion, it's like I think it's a pretty decent looking car, but it's not a Honda Prelude. It just doesn't have that same, and I might be wrong. I'm not a car designer, and people will probably disagree with me in the comments of this, but for me, it just doesn't have that that coolness to it. You know, I don't know. I might be being nostalgic here. I could be being harsh, but I just don't think it has that look to it. But I do think that the main sort of pain point here is the price. £40,000 in the UK, and in the US, I think it's $42,000, which is absolutely crazy for what it is. I mean, you can get a base model Civic with a manual transmission for less, and it may not be as cool, but you'll get 4 seats, and it probably will be more fun to drive. If I'm being honest, I've not driven one, so I don't know. It might be really fun to drive. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, it's not looking good, Honda. And the thing is, I think, like I said before, 40 grand, there are so many other cool cars you can get for this price. You know, you can get a really good condition, basically brand new, you know, BMW 240i, which comes with a B58, is, you know, a lot faster, 4 seats, a lot more comfortable. You could probably get a decent Supra. You can get a, you know, a basically brand new Supra for this price. You can get, I mean, I think it almost seems to be a lot of manufacturers doing this at the minute. We had, you know, the Nissan 400Z or Nissan Z or whatever you want to call it. We didn't get it in the UK, unfortunately, but that car brand new, I think, was 45 grand, maybe 40. I actually don't know the specifics, but I know that it's just way too expensive for what it is. And a lot of manufacturers are doing this lately. They're marking up cars. Maybe it's because of the name, or they think that, you know, it's got a lot of following, so it will sell. They can mark it up, so because they think it will definitely sell. But the thing is, like, with the Prelude, it's not got the specs we want. It's not really, and I'm not trying to be a spec sheet nerd here. I really just mean that, you know, you'd think they would make a more sportier car, you know, manual transmission, at least a little bit faster. But yeah, it's really disappointing, and I hope a lot of other manufacturers don't go this route. You know, I can just, because the issue is it will kill off a lot of, you know, enthusiast cars. If we can't afford them, we're not going to be able to buy them. I mean, you can get a brand new GR86 for 30 grand. That's 10 grand less. That's literally 10 grand less. It's rear-wheel drive. It's a manual. It's a fully 2-litre naturally 2.4 litre naturally aspirated engine. And yeah, and it's rear-wheel drive, and it's got 2 seats with it's basically got 4 seats. But you can get that for 30 grand. But this new Prelude is a 2-seat hybrid automatic coupe that's front-wheel drive for 40 grand. Oh yeah, it's front-wheel drive. Like, come on, Honda, you can do better. Come on, what are you doing? You know, you're one of the best manufacturers ever, and you're making this. Honestly, go back to the drawing board, bring out a facelift, make it manual, make it all-wheel drive. You know, make it cool, make it interesting. You can do it. I believe in you, Honda. Even fast, like as a hybrid, you would think it would be fast, right? Like the new NSX was fast. But anyway, look, I've not done a video like this before, so if you did find any enjoyment in it, you know, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. It's the best way to support me, and I really want to, you know, get to the next milestone of 10,000 subscribers. That would be really cool. So I would really appreciate that. And yeah, let me know if you like this style of video. I just thought I'd do like kind of like a news style video, just because I was so outraged, if I'm being honest, about this new Prelude. But let me know what you thought of this, and if you would, you know, if you'd like to see more kind of videos in this style. It's just a little bit different, so I thought I would, you know, just try something a little bit different. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.